Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, this is HD StarCraft. How are you guys all doing today? And it's time for another Heart of the Swarm broadcast. And over in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, Newkirk, we've got the red Zerg player. Very proud to say it. We've got Liquid.TLO here representing the Swarm. And of course, his opponent, would you want it any other way? It is going to be the blue Protoss player from Ukraine, WhiteRa. And it seems like in every chapter of the history of StarCraft 2, we've had this epic battle between these two titans, and they've been here every step of the way. In the beta of Wings of Liberty, in the when Wings of Liberty went live, in multiple different tournaments, they've clashed together. And here we are in the Heart of the Swarm beta, and I'm very proud to be able to bring you guys this game. It is going to be WhiteRa and TLO. So excited, and I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. Of course, I do want to say that this replay in particular is a little bit older. We can see here that pneumatized carapace from the lair was actually not removed or not moved down to the hatchery, and this was actually I believe two patches ago. So it's not necessarily like completely outdated, but this is a replay that I really wanted to bring to you guys, and I'm not going to really care just because pneumatized carapace is not at the hatchery. So anyways, this is going to be WhiteRa versus TLO. I'm actually going to be doing a couple of TLO games here or there when I get the opportunity to do so. And very excited to see how this is going to go down. We already have WhiteRa going over to the natural expansion. He's got a Nexus coming up, and he is planning, of course, to go for that quick expansion style. And that is pretty common. You'll see Protoss do that in Protoss versus Zerg. They'll try to get the Nexus down, especially on Newkirk, because it's very easy to wall off this ramp right here. It's just a double ramp, and you can close it off with the Cyber Core, a Gateway, a Pylon, a Zealot, and an extra Pylon as well, usually is what you need. So that's pretty easy to do. And over on the other side of the map, it looks like TLO does have a spawning pool coming out, as he plans to go for, obviously, that quick expand. He's going to be going for Zerglings pretty soon here. And WhiteRa coming in with that probe, just going in, finding out what is going on. This is a 1v1 map, and remember, on 1v1 maps, you might imagine, oh, that might mean that it's going to be less of a macro-based game, but that's not the case on Newkirk because it's such a big one and you've got so many expansions. It's kind of like Acheron Wastes. Maybe, I'd say it's actually about just as big as Acheron Wastes. And typically you can have very epic games on these new Heart of the Swarm maps, so very excited to see how this is going to go down. We do have a third hatchery coming out here for TLO very quickly. And we can see that both players have taken more of the macro-based approach here, as they're very familiar with each other's playstyles. Sometimes you might see them getting very tricky, especially the little one, but WhiteRa is known to have a couple of aces up his sleeve as well if he ever wants to, you know, get feisty, I guess you could say. But both of these players have so much respect for each other's game. Apparently here they've just kind of met up randomly on the ladder, and they have so much respect for each other's game that they're just gonna play a macro one here and let their skills in StarCraft 2, their micro and their macro abilities do the talking here at the end of the day. So very excited to see who's gonna win here, the old grandpa Protoss WhiteRa, and I say that with the utmost respect, of course, or the young gun TLO. We'll just have to wait and see. I think TLO is actually about half the age of WhiteRa. I believe WhiteRa is mid-30s. I think TLO is, God, I forgot his age, but young, early, almost 20, I think he is. Maybe he's early 20s right now. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, there it is. So we do have a Stargate coming up here for WhiteRa, and he is planning to take to the skies. Of course, in Heart of the Swarm, Protoss have a lot of options here with the early Stargate. You can go with the Oracle, you can go with the Void Ray, you can go with the Phoenix, obviously, which Void Ray and Phoenix have always been there, and eventually you can go into Tempest as well. So it's a very powerful option now for Protoss players if they want to try to take some air supremacy against Zerg, and it also allows them to just get rid of Overlords very quickly and keep them out of their base, out of the Protoss base. And we do have an Oracle coming out here for WhiteRa, so he wants to go for the air-based harass unit now available. And even one Oracle in the hands of someone really good, you can fly it behind the mineral patch, and it can do a pretty good amount of damage to the drones. It can kill them off pretty quickly. You guys would be surprised. I've seen it happen before. I've actually tried to defend against it, and it is not an easy thing to defend against. It's kind of like a Banshee, but obviously you can't kill it, but it can kill off workers very, very quickly with its pulsar cannon, pulsar laser, whatever it's called, pulsar something. So the names are always changing around, so it's very hard to keep track of everything sometimes when you're casting the games here, but I'm sure we can take a look at it in a second here, and we'll find out. In fact, the first Oracle, is it out yet? No, not. Yes, it is. I'm actually trying to figure out where it is on the map. There it is, just above the Stargate, and we can see it is called the Pulsar Beam. There it is. Anyways, 2 Stalkers coming back over as they were going on an offensive mission, but decided to change their minds. They're going to go ahead and defend this 3rd Nexus and make sure that it comes up safe and sound. The 2 Oracles are also going to stay in a defensive posture. One of the recent changes to Envision was Envision is now lasting 60 seconds instead of 30 seconds, so that obviously is not reflected here in this version of Heart of the Storm, as it is a few patch updates older. But regardless, there is the Mothership Core now out in the skies, and WhiteRa really kind of almost like going with a dual-based army, dual-purpose army here. He's got a few Stalkers on the ground. He's making another gateway as well, so it's not like he's completely forfeiting ground tech. And he's also got a lot of Oracles and a Mothership Core, and he's going right into Fleet Beacon too, so this is very interesting. It seems like he wants to eventually transition into an all-purpose Sky Toss army, but for now he realizes the need to have a couple of Stalkers, because if you don't have some Stalkers, you don't have the Photon Cannons especially, you can fall very susceptible to an early ground-based attack against Zerg. So he's you know, making sure to dot his I's, cross his T's, but he really wants to go into Sky Toss here, and he's bringing in these 3 Oracles. Now you guys are going to see how effective these things can be against the drone line, although the drones have immediately been pulled out of the way, as the little one knows all too well how deadly the Pulsar Beam can be. And it looks like the Oracles here, they've got to make up their mind. Where are they going to go? It looks like they're going to go over to the natural now. And you can see here, it only takes basically 1 second for the Pulsar Beam to kill off a drone. It's 2 pulses from the beam, which I think each pulse takes like literally half a second. So that's about a second, and it can kill off a worker. But WhiteRa here needs to deactivate the Pulsar Beam so he can regain his energy, and he has indeed done that. So the energy will begin to start to accumulate once again. And back at home, WhiteRa is actually gonna go for carriers. Are you kidding me right now? So he is really gonna try to go to carriers. Graviton Catapult is on the way, which allows the interceptors to come out much more quickly. That's exactly what the tooltip says. And we have +1 air weapons on the way. Now, what kind of anti-air defenses will the little one have to deal with the carriers? He does have Hydralisk coming and a couple of Queens and Infestors, but I don't know if he doesn't get a Spire up for Corruptors soon. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. He needs to start the Spire now if he hasn't already. And it looks like he's going to be able to intercept these Oracles. Very nice play right there. The Oracles are an expensive unit, and picking them off here just, you know, whittles down their numbers and further ensures that they won't become a problem behind the mineral lines of the Zerg players. So, very good play right there by TLO. And WhiteRa says, okay, screw that. I'm out of here. I'm going to fly back home and I guess let their shields regenerate, because I've got the real Protoss air units coming out here. It is the carrier, baby, and he's got the interceptors beginning right now as well. We do have Hydralisk speed on the way, but I'm very concerned right now for the little one, because carriers are a significant threat. If you don't have Corruptors, but you know what the little one's going for? He's going for Vipers here, and Vipers can yank the carriers in closer to the Hydralisks and let the Hydralisks get in there and snipe them down. So you needn't necessarily required to have Corruptors anymore in Heart of the Storm. You can play around with different options, and I think the little one, I don't even know if he realizes that carriers are out. I don't think he does, but it's almost like it's okay, because he's gonna have Vipers, and if he has enough energy for an Abduct, then he should be able to get those carriers close and in range. And here come a couple more Oracles around the backside. WhiteRa not giving up with this aerial-based harass attack. Let's see if he can catch the little one off guard. There is a Spore Crawler there, though, and Spore Crawlers are what the Queen should be able to shut down these Oracles, no problem. And WhiteRa has to pull out once again. So his Oracles have been mildly effective. Nothing too serious. Looking at the workers lost tab, in fact, it's only been 3 workers that have been killed so far. So nothing serious at all. But look at this Hydralisk squad from the little one. He's gotten max upgrade on the Hydra, speed, He's got +1 range, he's got 1-1, and he's going for 2-2 right now. +2 missile is going to finish around the time this attack hits, maybe a few seconds later. And he's got to bust through quite a bit of photon cannons to get through. The mothership core has photon overcharge the Nexus, but there comes the abduct, bringing in the carriers. And now the Hydra's got to focus down the carriers. Can they do it? Fungal growth comes down as well, but there's so many interceptors flying out and about. Will there be enough Hydralisks to finish off the carriers? It looks like there's only a few remaining. That carrier is going to go down at the very last second. And I almost feel like that was a success for the little one. Yeah, he lost a huge chunk of his army, but I feel like that could have gone a lot worse. I mean, he basically engaged into a grid of cannons, not just on the low ground, but on the high ground, and then a bunch of carriers and a Nexus that was photon overcharged, and he still was able to snipe out almost every carrier there. And now he realizes the threat that he's facing, so he can prepare adequately, and it looks like his preparations are going to basically involve more Hydralisks, so that doesn't hurt, obviously. And he's going to try to just brute force his way. That's the way to play Zerg. Brute force his way through the Protoss front door. He's got a new squad of Hydralisks. This is the power of the Zerg being able to macro their army up so quickly, and the little one is going to try to push through here. The Nexus and 4 carriers he's got to bust through. He doesn't have Vipers here to abduct, though, and that is a problem. The Hydras cannot get up close and personal, and now the Hydras are all being sniped out by that huge army of interceptors, and the little one is going to have to pull out of here. There's no way he can fight this army. In fact, if WhiteRa was prudent here, he could drop a Time Warp Field to cut off their escape, but it looks like he used most of his energy on that photon overcharge, so he doesn't have enough energy to cut the escape off of the retreating Zerg units. And now the little one thankfully has some creep that's been spread out to the middle of the map. He's even had enough thought here to go ahead and throw down an evolution chamber just to feed his hungry Vipers should they need the energy. And here comes a Roach squad, and around the top left hand side of the map looking for a Nexus to snipe down. Unfortunately for them, there is no base there. Very close game right now, 172 supply to 193, but look at WhiteRa's probe count. Oh my god, 112 probes. I actually feel like that obviously is way too many probes. He's basically got 50 supply in Harvesters that he would much rather want an army right now, but he isn't maxed out yet. I think once he gets close to maxed out, he's gonna have to throw his probes away. One reason why he isn't maxed out yet is because he's going for carriers, which are such a big, costly unit. Including their interceptors, obviously. Here we go, though. Oh, the mothership core goes down. Couldn't drop a Time Warp Field, which would have been absolutely critical. And now the Hydras are going to go for the interceptors. They're not going to go for the carriers. They're actually killing off all the interceptors. There aren't enough interceptors in the sky. There's only 13, 10, 9, 13, 10, 9, 8. And you can see that round every once in a while it rebuilds up as the interceptors are being reconstructed. But now the interceptor fleet is so little, they're going to have to pull back behind the Nexus. But the Nexus now is under attack. The shields are taking a big pounding here. The carriers are gonna have to come save it. And will the Nexus stay alive? Oh, this is gonna be so close. I can't even see. The Nexus has fallen. And a beautiful snipe right there by the little one. What a play. Now, the problem is he is in a lot of trouble, though, in risk of a big counterattack, because he threw away a huge chunk of his army. You can see now he's fallen 165 to 187 supply. To snipe out that Nexus, I'm actually surprised WhiteRa isn't going for a counter right now. He's got to realize this is his window of opportunity, but then again, that's the one race that you really have to think twice about investing into a counterattack, because the Zerg is not a centralized race. They're decentralized. They've got hatcheries all over the place. You choose to go for one hatchery, there's creep lanes spreading out to all the other ones, allowing reinforcements to arrive at a very quick amount of time. And if you try to counterattack a Zerg player, you can quickly lose the game if you're not careful. So I think that's why WhiteRa is just playing it safe rather than starting. You can see how quickly the little one's maxed out once again. 198 supply very, very quickly. But you know what? The little one, WhiteRa's got, he's got Templars now, so he's got the right unit now to fight off this Hydra squad, but he's got to be careful. If he's not paying attention, he's going to lose all of his Hydras. The Templars, but he drops the Storm. Oh, the Storm ripping through the Hydras, and the little one has to call GG, man. He just lost, oh, I don't know, a lot of Hydras right there under that Storm. I just want to show you guys that again because it was pretty brutal, and it's always fun to watch Hydras get completely obliterated by perfectly laid storms. So let's go ahead and see that one more time. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. If you did, check me out at my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at HDStarcraft. And oh God, that is brutal. Not even bringing Queen's helps because you can't even. It's like playing whack-a-mole. Which Hydras do you save with Transfuse? And is it even worth it? Probably not. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any great Heart of the Storm replays, feel free to have them sent in to me at HDreplays@gmail.com. And of course, Heart of the Storm coming out in a few weeks. Very, very excited. I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is HD signing out.